But certainly Amazing and Xiang were not playing that well when Uzi was on the roster. At least at that last game in the last few weeks, they're playing much better.
Yes.
So I feel like the team, even though things change dynamically within shot calling and stuff like that, they're much more rounded.
No,
given what we've seen from the top laner and support recently.
I completely agree. Xiang and Amazing are on a total upswing. They look like great players right now. I mean, they never looked terrible, but they look limited.
Yep.
And they're really starting to expand themselves and not being a liability as far as draft phase is concerned for OMG. OMG's draft was still a little bit wonky in its ordering. Did work out for them, again, on the back of Xie on a fantastic Gnar play. We'll see if maybe it cleans up this time around from purple side.
Yeah, we can see the ban's already through there for World Elite. Alistar, Twisted Fate, and Azir, the three there from World Elite, as Nidalee, Ryze, and Kalista banned away from OMG. Not interested in giving them Kalista. I guess being on the red side hurts. So Uzi not going to get that champion probably forever, given how good he is on it. And World Elite, what do they want? Does Aluka want Sion? Is he going to take Maokai away again? As far as power picks go, we do have Echo Open as a ban from last series that was not banned this time around. So potential for that to be picked up here as well. Oh, it's Gragas instead.
Yep, gonna be the Gragas taken away from Shui. Immediately, though, the Echo being hovered, and Xiang's like, I can't believe it. They didn't take Maokai.
Yeah, he might just take it, although he had a great Gnar game, to be honest. If there's any more champions that he's been cooking up in recent solo queue and scrims, he might show them now. But I like that Shueisha's gone straight to Echo. He's like, yeah, give me this champion. This champion's great. Also, Cool does play it as well.
Yep, joining the likes... Oh, actually, hold on.
Yeah, we'll give him a bit more time, but Gragas for Spirit shows me a lot. It's not leveling, but Shui has shown proficiency when he played on the Gragas, so a steal there away. Rek'Sai's still open, of course, so jungle's available, but OMG going to start off with a Victor lock-in, and they'll take Braum as well.
So, still relatively hidden. Victor being picked this high up, not surprising. He was banned last time around. He is definitely a power pick, offers a lot of control, and Cool is a fantastic Victor as he is most things that he touches. Amazing. Going back to the Braum, I really like this because it still really hides what you want. Likewise, it denies a lot from Corki should Mystic choose to go that direction.
Yeah, and we saw Shea flash Ezreal there as well. Also denies that. So I like the Braum pickup in general. You sort of mentioned it already, but just really good as a pick in the meta right now.
Yep, just immediately counters all of that poke. The Ezreal, the Corki, the Nidalee.
Which is not in this game, understandably. Even if Braum was open, probably don't want to give that one over to Spirit, as Vayne is going to be the pickup here for Mystic. Going to go real carry mode. I guess the best news is Uzi can't play Vayne now.
It's actually a denial.
Yep, Janna there as well for Conan. So going to take the Janna Vayne lane into battle.
My favorite lane.
Why is this your favorite lane for us, Garena?
I feel like I describe this every single time. And people keep at the public, no, don't talk about it anymore. My favorite lane is Janna Vayne, because Janna empowers all of the things that Vayne is good at and shores up all of the things that she's bad at.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it seems like a very passive lane, but you can get work done early on.
The beautiful thing about it, too, was Uzi and Zero really showed off the strength of this lane at the World Championship.
That was my trivia question for you. Well done. Preempted it there.
I got you.
Rek'Sai Lucian, the pick there for OMG. Uzi going to go to a really classic champion for him.
How did Uzi end up at 2 World Championships? Well, thank you for asking, Pastry. It's because Lucian was not disabled in LPL, where he was in the NA and EU LCS after the rework, and Uzi went on a tear with this champion, just in one of the most absurd gauntlet runs that Starhorn Royal Club has ever seen.
And you know what? All crazy Lucians aside, as Ezreal is actually locked in for World Elite, we're going to give it a bit more on the Uzi history lesson later, because that's Shea going to be taking Runeglaive Ezreal to the mid lane.
I see your Braum and I don't care.
Yeah. Apparently not.
Yeah, this is 5.13, which means that Luden's Echo will no longer be working with the Runeglaive. But
we saw it with Dade already. Still does plenty of damage.
Still pretty strong.
Sion there for Aluka very late into the draft. World Elite. Understandably going to go back to comfort, it feels like.
They're just taunting me at this point. No, Xiang, I believe you. Take it top lane.
I was hoping for the top lane
It shreds through tanks.
To really stick it to the Ezreal, but Maokai might do the same job here as well.
No, Xiang. Tom Kench.
Stop it.
Do it.
Yep. This only hurts you.
It's a tank. You can do it. I believe. No, he's going to do Maokai.
Well, I have to think so. Again, I think it's actually probably better against Ezreal specifically.
Don't bring logic into this.
All right.
This is not the place for it. This is game 2.
This is the LPL. There's
the
no time for that. Well, see what OMG wants to select. Thinking it's probably the Maokai, but looking over World Elite once again. Very standard, very comfy picks for them in pretty much all the lanes. Shia, how is he going to perform on the Ezreal? Might be the big question, as it is the expected Xiang Maokai.
So this is the big thing that people don't necessarily really touch on with Ezreal being picked up. Ezreal loses pretty much every single lane until he gets his itemization up and running. So for a fair majority of it, he's just not in a happy place, especially because by sacrificing one of his summoners for the smite so he can go the Runeglaive, he loses all sorts of kill pressure there. So how does this change the dynamic of a jungler for someone who has an Ezreal? You cannot gank mid lane. It's almost very unlikely. You'd have to bring multiple members because naturally he's not going to bring any CC. He's not going to have any hardcore damage until he gets his itemization up. And he doesn't have any kill summoner. So where does Spirit look for? He's got plenty of kill pressure in the bottom side. That said, against Lucian Braum, that's one of the strongest 2v2 lanes in the game.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
absurd. Completely cancels that out there. Where are you looking then? Top lane. Your Scion to attempt to kill a Maokai.
Sure.
I feel like it completely telegraphs any sort of pressure that Spirit can create on the map, and this is all going to be about heavy farming.
Well, I think his job is just to make sure no one else gets run over then.
Yeah.
Which is honestly what he did in the early game of game number 1. So we'll see if he can get it done on Gragas this time instead of Rek'Sai. Shueisha managed to take that one away for himself instead. Didn't go for the Echo. Made me sad. But Shia there on Ezreal versus Cool's Victor is a match we've seen quite a lot of recently.
Yep. I still feel like it's in majority of Victor's control just until Ezreal gets his Runeglaive up and running, but those are the 80 carries. That was Uzi, not North.
Yep. He's playing Lucian into the Vayne there, so not going to take his Vayne as Conan there on the Janna with Amazing on the Braum. How much of this team's changed with Uzi on the roster? I guess we're going to find out soon.
I feel like their draft phase completely 180 looked much cleaner this time around from OMG.
That's true. Red side drafting helping out a bit there, but I guess we'll have to find out how Uzi does. He's back on the lineup for game number 2. Let's get onto the Rift and find out. And here we are for game number 2 between OMG and World Elite. OMG really trying to get some last few points here. Rocket their way up the standings and challenge the top 2 teams. Sitting at about 3rd or 4th right now. Would love to sit in the top 2 by the season's end, but time is running out for us, Gurin. And it starts here against World Elite. They've got a game already. Can they claim number 2 and the full 3 delicious, delicious points?
And naturally, you can't drop any games in the back half of the season just because of the change in the playoff format. It turns into a gauntlet, and the top 4 teams have a much easier road into that final playoff bracket.
I think top 2 even better there as well. So definitely lots of incentive for OMG to collect points now late in the season. They see a lot of moving and shaking as see ya, Luca, or at least your Flash. Amazing gets it out with a Q.
That is not what you want to see. So again, Spirit has lost a lot of power across his map and where he can be successful in any sort of gank endeavor. That was cute.
That was really funny. Amazing walks all the way down to the lane. Spots a Luca running back in. Looks like they might be trying for a lane swap. Or at least spotting the expected Vayne lane swap.
Yep, but they are actually both positioned and postured for the 2v2 on the bottom side. This is funny too. OMG used to religiously run this lane, the Lucian Braum, when they had San and Dada 7, just because it was so potent and powerful that you had to give every single advantage to San and Dada 7 to just survive lane phase long enough for Loveling, Cool, and Going to come by and like pick them up.
Yep, and now it's the opposite. It's a rising AD carry player on a champion he's shown a decent amount of proficiency on, and one of the world's most aggressive AD carries.
Yep, pretty much. It's absolutely terrifying.
Mystic and Conan are not going to have a fun time as Alucard's killed himself, taken the Raptor camp, and will teleport to top lane. We are going to have standard lanes though, and that makes Uzi a very happy chappy.
If you've never seen how this lane works, this is how it goes. Braum's going to attack you with the Q or the auto, which will start to proc his concussive blows, and then Lucian is going to very quickly proc his passive, the double tap, to quickly stack the concussive blow stun as well as the extra magic damage.
You don't tumble out of that Q.
It's
going to go real bad, real quick. Level 2 is important here as well. You have to think OMG are pushing in for it early. Aren't they just yet? Need a couple more creeps. There it is.
And there goes the aggression.
Level 2 though, it does hit. Silver Bolt's pop. Mystic actually going to go in. Q will miss that from Amazing, and lane will sort of reset back.
I love watching Uzi on Lucian. It's kind of like watching him on Vayne. The thing about Uzi is he will contest you for every single CS.
Yep. Watch it here to see how aggressively he walks up and tries to keep Mystic in range of all his shots. Because, make no mistake, if Mystic or Conan make a mistake, they will be punished.
Uzi likes to play it pedal to the metal and never let up. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, though, Xie is actually doing pretty decent, hiding behind his tower, just trying to pick up these last hits with his Mystic shot.
Just needs CS here on Ezreal. That's all you can ask for with a smite.
I love how Victor laughs when he throws down the laser, because it's just...
This feels suitable.
Yeah, I wanted to say something, but I was like, on air.
Well...
It's a jerk move.
It is a bit of a jerk move. Shui though, going to get the Scuttle Crab for himself. Remember, back in the lineup, this is the other addition with Uzi coming in and actually going to look for Spirit now. Invading Spirit's usually a pretty interesting proposition, but he's going to find him. Spirit, though...
He should actually just go in.
He should.
He's got the red buff advantage. Likewise, Spirit hadn't smited the red buff to get the health back, and both of his lanes are in complete control in bottom and mid lane. So Shui, he could have pulled the trigger right there because he had the clear advantage. That said, doesn't, Spirit picks up the red buff.
Yep, Spirit will get the buff. Not going to get anything stolen away just yet. Amazing. Took a big trade in the bottom side as well. Mystic and Conan doing a nice job actually hitting Braum most of the time, because when you go in, he's the front-most target, and Vayne, one of the few AD carries that can actually try and kill tanky supports.
That said, Shui sneaking in the back here. See if we'll have a 3v3 because Spirit.
Seems like Uzi shot calling will work. Good condemn though. Amazing, not quite there with the last few punches for the passive, and Shui comes in late. Amazing, chunked out low. Has to maybe run now. Spirit's going to come in. Uzi got to be careful. Q going to land. He's going to double slow. But Uzi going to turn it around, do some damage, but Mystic just weaving in these autos every chance he gets.
OMG doing a good job making sure that they hide Amazing to the side so he can't be picked up. Now Spirit looking for an offensive invade.
Going to find Shui instead. Cool not here though. Spirit's going to be forced to get himself out. Shui will find him, gets the knockup, but just a bit of trade damage. No, Amazing going to join in as well. Last auto not there. Doesn't have time to proc the passive.
Fact that Cool wasn't in position, he had back and was walking towards his lane, where Xie was there, forces OMG to back off.
Blasting one though, early up for Cool. Doesn't have an upgrade to the Hex score yet. And we've seen, I feel like, so many different Victor builds.
Wow. Typically,
even from the same players, I feel like we see different Victor builds.
Yeah, I agree. It's a little bit odd. That said, see how this works out for him. Obviously, the AP itemization going through quite a revamp in 5.13 due to its cost effectiveness.
Blasting one just fine here, but we'll see when Cool gets those early upgrades. Once the death ray, of course. They're doing just fine on the wave gear front, especially against an Ezreal with no Runglaive and no ultimate.
No offensive or defensive summoner to assist him there.
He is the wettest of noodles. AP Ezreal in the mid lane. Does get a lot better from what we've seen with the Runglaive, but it's just amusing to me in the early levels here. Is amazing. Another Silver Bolt's proc Unbreakable will stop some of that damage, but still going in. Actually really wants to tag Mystic, but a little too aggressive maybe.
Issue is that Amazing is just not finding these Qs onto Mystic. Mystic doing a good job.
Oh, never mind. Going to go straight in. Uzi wants it bad. He flashes in. Gets the stun. Tornado is going to stop some of the bleeding. Uzi going to turn it in onto Conan. Doesn't quite get the passive proc down. Q will land. Well, that's just going to give them some space in the lane.
Amazing, forcing the flash to make sure that the Q connects, because that was the issue. They weren't, and unfortunately, Uzi goes very aggressive and is not rewarded for it. So both flashes down for OMG's bot lane.
Yep, make their play on the bottom side with the all-in. Don't get it. And the Bilgewater Cutlass will be the first item for Mystic. Pickaxe there for Uzi is the answer. Actually already has one. No wonder he went all in.
Had the buy advantage.
Well, makes sense here. Is Conan going to hold the tower? Luca doing fine on the top side as well, by the way. And mid lane just sort of a farm fest at this point. So again, a very quiet first few 7 minutes. As Conan gets tagged, but he should be just fine. Amazing. Ooh, overcommitting. Gets knocked up. Mystic gonna find him.
If he gets slowed, he's in trouble.
Yeah, Uzi's not there. Mystic's found him with the first few bolt. Q is good, but Amazing gonna die. And first blood goes to Vayne.
Just a little bit too overzealous right there. Was trying to really make Conan eat the massive creep wave that he had built up just to force him to not freeze it and pull it into the tower to reset. Unfortunately, takes some tower aggro, and Vayne shows up just in time.
Yep, so first blood goes to Vayne, which is probably the worst possible outcome there in the bottom lane, but we'll see how OMG bounce back there. Amazing. Again, whenever he plays with Uzi, I'm not sure what it is, but just not nearly as crisp as we've seen him play.
Curious.
I don't know. I just don't know.
Just don't know what's going on there.
I certainly will say that Uzi is obviously a very, not lane reliant, but like lane dominant AD carry. And Amazing's play has definitely been in team fights.
I completely agree with that assessment. Obviously, the difference between North and Uzi and how they set up in a lane, night and day.
Yep.
You have one who's going to be very self-sufficient, very passive, kind of wait for the team to lead him through, whereas Uzi wants to make the plays and demands the resources.
Oh, sorry, Luca spotted up by Shui Shui, and Cool gets stunned in the gravity field. Chaos Storm down! Luca flashes out to safety, but Shui Shui's going to chase him. Maokai coming down as well. Xiang's trying to line it up for the ultimate. Just enough space. Maybe Xiang gets the slow. Not enough. Blue buff instead.
So Aluka, the famous Scion player, escapes death, flashes the wall, ults away.
And Wadley going to get a dragon. Blue
buff.
Did
he get it?
Yeah, I think stolen by Ezreal.
You got it.
Oh my god, Wadley across the map going to get everything out of this trade. Can't stop the dragon, didn't get their own blue, and didn't kill Aluka. It's World Elite that come out in the first 9 minutes with all of the little edges.
And all on the back of the train driver there in the top lane. Fantastic Scion play. Commits all of OMG's resources top and allow WE to capitalize with a free dragon and 2 free blue buffs.
Makes you wonder why World Elite did not pick Scion in the last game here.
There's 2 rules. Don't let Spirit have Nidalee. Don't let Aluka have Scion.
Well, Aluka got a chance at Scion in 2 games, taking it in this one. It's looking good here at the early stages. 1,000 gold ahead for World Elite. Again, a small lead, but a lead nonetheless.
Some initial itemization coming out across the board. We do have the double Doran's ring into, I hope that's a Roa. I would love the Roa to return on the Maokai in the top lane. That said, it should be a Righteous Glory. Righteous Glory was fairly gutted, though, on 5.13, so curious what itemization Xiang's going to commit to on that end.
Still seeing a lot of Maokais pick it up. Usually not as a rush item, I feel like.
Got it.
We'll see. I have for Roa too. Roa Maokai feels like he's due for a comeback given the changes to the item.
I know. I just feel like it's super cost efficient. It was just an initial buff towards the stats that you got over the Roa versus the gold that you input. And he's against the Scion, so it's not going to be super punished. Dragon's down. They're not going to be team fighting anytime soon, so you don't necessarily need your resources, or excuse me, your resistances.
Well, we'll see. Xiang had a pretty good game on Gnar in game number 1. Might have earned a Roa Maokai game. I guess we'll find out in short order, but I think you're right. Probably Righteous Glory there instead. Got it. But Runeglaive for Ezreal now completed. As Cool's got a Hexcore upgrade there as well. So starting to come together with some of the mid lane items now as well. And
of course, if you haven't seen Runeglaive Ezreal because you've been under a rock, this is how this works. It gives wave clear to Ezreal, who that's kind of the one big thing that he's missing. He needs to burn his ultimate if he wants to kind of chip away and peel these waves. But with his Mystic Shot, he's able to hit a creep wave. You then have some splash AoE damage. Very strong. And an unpause, apparently. Had a quick pause on pause there. Can't imagine it won't be too much longer till we're back in another game. But yeah, APS are pretty good. If you didn't see Dade play it earlier today, maybe go back and check out that game 2 that they played. Pretty spectacular stuff. Loved his ult at the very end. Triple kill.
Oh man, he was ready for the quadra as well. We pop back into the game. Uzi's still trying to get an edge here. He's actually down in CS to Mystic Vein. Does not normally do this in 2v2 lanes. The Spirit going to gank Xiang. Good twisted advance. So does the body slam. Might have enough to dodge the rest. Arcane Smash is good. Xiang, though, still with the ulti popping. Flashes the Q there. Knock up as well. Gets the stun on the knock up. Shueisha hit just in time. Going to knock up Aluka, and his life will be saved.
Straight up outplayed. Just a beautiful small little micro movements from Xiang to dodge the initial belly bop CC with the twisted advance, using the flash then to dodge the next Scion CC. Kind of an unfortunate cask from Spirit to kind of pop him back. I think that could have been saved a little bit, but beautiful outplay from Xiang. Yeah, really nice. Like we said, his play's been getting better and better as we see him play, and even on his old trusty Maokai. This was probably the first top laner he learnt when he was into the role. Mystic almost hits a stun there from Brom in the bottom side. Lucy wants it. Always wants it a little too much. Mystic's going to pop his ulti. Culling there as well. Great ult though from Amazing. And the chair is down. Can they get the stun? And one more order. There's the flash in. Uzi going to look for it. But Silver Bolt is there. Conan, the next target, gets stunned up. And Uzi rewarded with a kill. Finally finds a kill on the end of his aggression. Beautiful ultimate from Amazing. Yeah, Amazing again. Really nice ulti. Oh, Ezreal doesn't find him. I don't think he would have killed him even if he hit him.
Probably not.
Although Spirit would have definitely gone in.
Did not want to find out here. Is Uzi going to get greedy here, take a couple more creeps away?
Yeah.
Spirit can't kill him. Worth. Look at those creeps.
He's like, there's more gold hitting this tower than if I were to chase you.
Yep. And he's going to get that gold. Spirit going to collect it. Uzi, though, goes back to spend his. And Blade of the Ruin King's been completed by Mystic, so those early items are starting to come in. And I have bad news for Oscarin. Xiang is going to go Righteous Glory.
I won't blame him. Being a team player, and this is what Xiang does best, he has the highest kill participation of any top laner in the LPL, so people who are crying for going to return, Xiang has earned his place.
At least for now. As World Elite, actually still about 800 gold ahead. It's been about 800, 1,000 up, so nothing massive. Dragon back up, though, in a minute 35 might be the next point of contention on the map, and everyone's just scaling up. Shea especially. If he's getting free time farming in the mid lane, he is a happy man.
Yep, 121, about to take the lead over Victor, and this is what Runglaive Ezreal does. See that little bounce AoE? It's disgusting, and when it taps you, it hits you for about 800 damage.
Not yet, but
it
eventually.
Will.
Yeah. Again, if Dade's earlier performance is anything to look at, look for some big flat AP to come in and Shea to take over fights with his damage. So OMG, what's their answer? That's my question.
Well, the strength about World Elite's composition is elongated, sustained fights. Obviously, they have a huge tanky front line in the form of Spirit and, more importantly, Aluka, as well as great disengaging kite potential with the Tailwind passive from Janna, likewise the reset from the Monsoon. And it's all about making sure that Shea and Mystic stay alive as long as possible to output that shred and the cooldowns.
Oh, here comes the dive. The good condemn from Mystic. Cool's roaming down as well. Gravity Field might be enough. Mystic tumbles out. Chaos Storm is down, but it's not enough damage.
Where, on the other side, it's all about that Victor hitting the Chaos Storm and finding the massive burst damage, not only in their mid lane, but likewise even their AD carry as he wanders through a wall.
Yep. Casual. Shea going to get a tower for himself.
That was interesting.
Nothing to see here. Shea going to get the mid tower for himself. Cool's roam down the bottom side. I don't think it's an overcommit to the bottom lane there.
They do technically trade tower for tower, but definitely worth in favor of WE, as that mid-tier tower is going to give them much more control. That said, Uzi does a good job bouncing the wave.
Have you noticed a lot more attention in the bottom lane in this particular game?
Really? That's
that's wild.
That's curious.
Nice blue buff, red buff steal. Sorry here as well from OMG. Shui. We'll take that one away. But yeah, if you want to talk about a difference in shot calling, just look at the gank patterns of the games. That might give you an idea of what's going on here.
I just want a line of everywhere Loveland ganks
versus Mystic, that was a mistake. Goes aggressive. Gonna get stunned up there. Good ulti there from Amazing. Shui gets the kill as Uzi swoops in to try and kill Conan. Janna is gonna die. You have to think slow is good. Uzi gets it. And the World Elite bottom lane overstay their welcome.
Way too far forward, and they knew that OMG were in the area, so a little bit curious of a decision right there, especially stepping that far forward, not only without their flashes, but more importantly, without the Monsoon.
Yep. No cooldowns there to try and save them as Shui going to start up the Dragon. OMG actually pushing in the bottom side as Spirit has got their attention now. But they're getting a little bit of damage here. Going to need some help to finish this off.
I was going to say, they're completely ignoring poor little Shui. Oh, I believe.
Looking for the steal. Doesn't get it. Good smite from Rek'Sai.
So close. And really good positioning from Amazing with the Braum wall. He actually absorbed the majority of that. Maybe even blocked it from the Dragon.
Good stuff there from Amazing. Again, on point with the Braum. Especially these nice ultis, splash ultis in particular, have looked good. And Uzi's got himself an Infinity Edge now. So that Blade of the Ruin King for Mystic is nice, but Uzi might very slightly edge up Vanity at one point. It would certainly be close. Being a 2v2, if the Q lands, it's definitely not close.
How's your RNG feeling?
Well, I'm Uzi probably pretty good.
This is something that's very indicative of the Maokai versus Sion matchup, as we see Aluka and Xiang kind of trading blows here. Anytime Aluka goes for his big charge up on the axe, it's going to be a quick and easy twisted advance.
Amazing caught out now, does hop away there to Shui. Mystic though going to chase him down, gets the kill with a quick condemn to proc Silver Bolts. Nice kill there, Amazing. Too far forward warding in the river.
Yeah, interesting though that he effectively died in his own jungle, so was warding river by himself, but not necessarily out of a comfort zone.
Nice movement there from World Elite to get the kill. And Aluka will keep farming. It's been a real farm fest here in the top lane. Righteous Glory done for Xiang, but Aluka leading in CS is getting tankier and tankier.
Doing a good job making sure that he continues to pull his way through the side, but Beam on bottom, Uzi. Maybe in trouble.
Rage ults the wave there.
It does a little dance.
Yep. We'll see him with a scrying orb. Kind of altered the wave. I think assuming that he was getting baited into something he didn't want to be involved in. And Amazing's going to return back to the bottom lane as OMG starting to play to the top side of the map now with their jungler.
Well, this is where they should be since the Dragon objective is down, and likewise Uzi can just back up after burning his Gatling gun. Spin some gold, buy some items, so they should be looking towards this top lane.
Probably comfy in the 2v2, especially with Amazing there. From can lock up the van relatively quickly. People still getting stronger. Xie in particular, very close to that Rabadon's death cap. That'll really spike the damage and get Ezreal going.
Here we go. Here's the dive, though.
Yep, Shui into a Aluka. Great knock up, though, from the ulti there. But the Chaos Storm is down. Aluka can't live through that. And Xiang's going to get the kill.
And again, we talked about Dragons down, so there's a 6-minute window of opportunity for OMG to play to the top side of the map because no objective can be traded, but WE now find Amazing.
Yeah, back onto Amazing again. Xie's found Uzi. Ultimate will get dodged, but Amazing's going to eat it. They'll turn it around. Massive ulti. They need to kill Xie. Uzi gets popped in, but it's too far forward. Tornadoes there is good, though, and Spirit gets the kill.
Spirit almost cost Xie his life. Definitely cost him his flash, but they managed to pick up 2 for none. OMG trading the top tier tower.
Yep, they'll get the tower there, but the kills do go in favor of World Elite, so looking good as the game evens right back out. But Mystic going to try and make that gold lead a little bit there for World Elite, back to about that 1,000 ahead. They have not been that far ahead in this game, very close still between the two teams, but World Elite have been on the front foot for the first 20 minutes.
And again, it's kind of the difference in how these team fights are going to play out. Can WE elongate these fights long enough for Mystic and Xie to get off the necessary rotations with their cooldowns and auto attacks, or will OMG walk in with their massive CC and burst and just delete WE?
Yep, and right now we haven't seen a 5v5, just a couple of pockets of skirmish across the rift here as towers get traded again, bottom for mid this time as World Elite and OMG take some outer turrets. And even that gold right back up to dead even in this game. In fact, look across the board, and there's literally a tower in the current scoreline.
Incredibly close. Itemization for Runeglaive Ezreal, though, is where I want to check in. And we have the Runeglaive completed as well as the death cap. So this is when things start to get very intense. Yeah,
level 13 for Xie getting stronger and stronger in this game. We saw in the last little exchange did a pretty silly amount of damage there to Uzi as Xiang. Going to get ulted up here by Aluka. Spirit joins in. Ezreal there as well. Ulti does decent damage to Xiang. He'll flash out of the way. And that'll keep him safe as he goes between his towers. Spirit
had his cask available the entirety of that fight, so holding off on it and not willing to expend it on Xiang to bounce him back into what would have been certain death.
Oh, Xie, though, now going to poke in. Amazing. Quick to put the shield up there with Unbreakable. But Ezreal's starting to do quite a lot of damage. Mystic going to take a tower on the top side. 80 carries looking to trade turrets here. Uzi with a big wave on the tier 2, but OMG trying to group together.
Here comes a teleport there from Aluka.
Xiang going to flank Xie. They need to kill this Ezreal, but pretty hard to pin down. Amazing. Barely misses that Q. Shui gets
wow,
the slow.
Conan.
But the Monster disengages him. Xie's going to come back in. Spirit's now around the side. Uzi is joining in a little late here. Does pop the calling. Spirit has to get away. Xiang is just alive. But Aluka now the next target. Mystic's still going to dive his way in. And Xie just does too much damage. Mystic flashes forward aggressively. Gets himself the double.
Hero of that fight goes to Conan. I don't care what anyone else says. Xie did all of the damage, but he would not be alive long enough for the front line of WE to get into position if Conan hadn't used a beautiful Monsoon to push Shui away.
And as a result, World Elite going to take that fight and look to take Baron here with all their damage. Pretty easy with Ezreal and Vayne. And they'll take it. Oh my god, that was close. 2 smites though as the kill goes down. Uzi going to die as well. Xie gets the nice little triple.
I believe Xie may have also taken down the Baron.
Yes, he did. He smited it. He got literally everything in that last little fight for his team. So Conan, applause for setting it up, but Xie really rode that home.
Oh, that was so close.
Yeah, that was... I forgot that Xie had smite, if I'm perfectly honest. I was like, this looks insanely dangerous. As it turns out, they had an extra smite, but made it look a little scary there.
That said, Xie showing up on this Runeglaive Ezreal, even on the 5.13 patch, proving that you don't need Ludens to be OP.
No. I mean, honestly, I feel like the flat AP build, with all the changes in this patch, not necessarily better, but you do get a lot more damage a lot quicker. Like, this... Take the Need to Steal out of this build, and that right there is the real
core.
starter. Yeah, real core.
I mean, effectively, you're empowering hitting your skill shots versus doing your damage off of the splash.
which is probably a good thing as far as...
Curious that Riot would change that.
Did he get the blue buff?
No, he didn't.
Okay, that was close.
He did a massive amount of damage,
Is
though.
it wrong that it wouldn't surprise me that he stole the blue buff, given how much damage I've seen that ulti do? Well, Dragon is taking to go to World Elite, make that 2-for-1 up in Dragons, and of course currently up a Baron. World Elite in complete control, so you watch this again.
That was a awesome replay sound, but here we go. It's really Xie just completely untouched in the background, doing so much damage. And OMG, when they got into this fight, they were just so weak and out of position. Uzi arrived late to the fight, and WE just, wow, airplane.
Yeah, look, you heard that. You saw Xiang trying to do his job diving in onto Xie, but someone needs to follow him there to actually pin him down for the damage, because right now, World Elite have a nice lead that Ezreal ulting under towers to siege them. OMG cannot hold this. That
is just disgusting amounts of damage. Notice how Xie made sure that he backed away into Fog of War before throwing her ultimate. His ultimate, excuse me. Obviously, it's much harder to dodge the Ezreal ult if you don't see it coming.
Yes. Good Elixir ticking away now as well. 4-0-4 for the AP Ezreal right now. Only going to get stronger. You thought the damage was bad before. Just you wait, Frostgo. It's coming.
And then he also empowers Vayne's lackluster siege with the W on the attack speed increase, alongside Janna shielding her. So the one thing this composition really doesn't have in it is its siege potential. It's got great poke potential to threaten you off of the tower, but just applying those little bit of free stats to Vayne to allow her to shred through the tower.
The thing is, if you don't want to stand under your tower because Ezreal's going to kill you, Missy's going to get all the free time in the world to take out the tower. Conan here as well, making this a pretty easy job. And the front line is massive also. OMG starting to bleed structures in this game.
And OMG, the reason why they're just going to give that one up there, because against the poke composition, the #1 thing that you need to do is you need to hard engage. And OMG, they do have the correct resources to do that. But if something had gone wrong in that fight, that's the difference of losing a second-tier top tower versus an inhibitor. It's just not worth the risk or reward to pull the trigger there.
Especially with Baron buff still there for World Elite. So you're right. They're taking it a bit slower here, but World Elite have rocketed up to about 7,000 gold ahead. And it was not as zombies like I expected from Xie. This crafty new AP itemization. He's gone for Rylai's second. So if he wasn't already annoying, welcome. Welcome to the most frustrating thing in the world.
It's blue AP Ezreal, everyone. The kite is real. That is the maximum amount of slow that you can get for. We talked about how WE, they're going to thrive in these elongated sustain fights, and the slow and health stats that the Rylai's is going to give you is going to make that ever more potent.
I'm just looking at this and I'm getting upset.
It's blue AP Ezreal.
It hurts. It hurts so much. So you're going to wander over to the next fight. He knows how strong he is right now. And again, he's got great protection. Mystic can free hit all he wants.
He's got the 2 best resets in the game, the Gragas cast on top of the Monsoon. I actually really like this competition.
Yeah, it's great.
WWE.
And OMG just kind of hanging out by the turret, being like, I hope we can protect these inhibitors. 2 pink wards down there for OMG.
That's it.
Committing to this. Oh my god.
Oh.
Uzi might die through the Ezreal ultimate.
Just thinking about throwing it.
Uzi's back at the fountain already, but that does give World Elite free time on the tower. Spirit locked up, has to be careful. Massive castle knocks Amazing and Shui back in, but Amazing trying to block it off. Their damage though far too high, and OMG have to get out. Massive Ezreal ulti as Xie swoops in. Can't quite get the kill. And a 1-for-1 trade's going to give World Elite the edge as Xie goes off, gets the double, going to keep chasing, takes the tower, breaks the base.
WE are running through them. We talked about OMG. They have the tools to counteract the poke, pulling the trigger, but unfortunately they're never in a position where everyone is healthy enough to all press go. The fact that Uzi had to go back to the base pretty much lost OMG the game.
This game might end right now. Mystic, empowered by Janna and Ezreal, is doing pretty silly things to Tara.
Here comes Uzi.
He's low on mana. That's actually a chance. Uzi, though, going to get dropped as Amazing barely keeps him alive. Will go down. The ulti barely misses out on killing Uzi.
Think about that cooldown. Xie just used his ultimate when they siege the inhibitor tower and then uses it again on the back half of that fight.
Pretty low with all the CDR and those Mystic shots. And all of a sudden, World Elite well and truly ahead. Almost 9,000 gold in this game, looking for their next major buffs. Base almost broken in half there in the bottom side. OMG are lucky to not lose the game on the spot there, but they'll get a couple more minutes. But Who's to say how many more? This game is looking very difficult for OMG to win.
We talked about how OMG's identity changes when Uzi's on the map, not necessarily just in kind of how they play around their weighted players, but the shot calling in general. Where were the ganks going? They were going into the bottom lane, but that pretty much isolated this Ezreal to sit back farm, pick up blue buff after blue buff.
Shay's just ready.
And get massive. He's got a 20 CS lead on Cool.
Yeah, 605 here as well. And not showing any signs of slowing down. Another needlessly large rod has been added in. And they're just going to run straight to Baron.
And the thing about Victor and Rek'Sai is you have so much kill pressure on a lane because you have to think Victor's gravitational field and just his reach across the lane on top of the bounce castle that Shui Shui is going to offer with the unburrow. I mean, obviously, it's very hard to lock down an Ezreal, and he should never get caught on the mid lane since it is the shortest. You would have your, what's his reposition called?
Arcane Shift.
That one. I always want to call it Essence Flux.
That's the W.
Yeah. Mystic Shot, Essence Flux, Arcane Shift, True Shot Barrage.
That's the one?
I got it.
What's the passive name?
I have no idea. Gives him attack speed.
Rising Spell Pulse. As Waterly going to do this Baron. 2 smites again. GA ults the Baron just to make sure it dies. And Dragon's up if they want that as well.
Beautiful, too, because he ulted, like, calculating the damage for his ult to the smite.
It's smite during the ult.
Yep, because it's channelable.
Easy stuff here for Waterly right now. Looking like they've never lost game 1 in horrendous fashion. And it's been, for me, the biggest difference is team fighting.
Yeah,
like
it was beautiful.
The lanes...
This comp is so cool.
This comp is really cool. But like, OMG is not team fighting the same without leveling, I feel like.
Even with leveling last game, they still weren't team fighting the same. I mean, think about it. Xiyang was the Xiyang and Amazing were the 2 leads for OMG.
Well, can't crack this comp. It seems like Waterly putting something very creative together, and like these are reasonable picks from most teams here. Again, the exception of Sion.
It's not super bizarre, but it's just how the composition works. Like understanding how your team fight works, and then not only executing it correctly in the team fights, but itemizing correctly with the Rylai's.
He's done. He like can't join this fight as well to lead. It's going to take another inhibitor. They only have 1 Nexus turret, don't forget as well. So OMG on the verge of just losing the game.
We talked about how, oh, hold on.
Oop, going in, cool. Getting aggressed on Aluki, going to knock him up. They're trying to do something in the back. They found Conan as Xion gets that kill, but Mystic still dishing out damage. Jie is there as well. Spirit gets the kill. Ezreal claims 1 there as well. And Waterly now 3-1 up, going to try and take it all. Cool almost going down. The Chaos Storm will keep it up, but Jie dives straight into them. Does get picked off, but Waterly just going to end the game. Mystic keeps going. He's going to try and get the kills. He'll chase down Cool. He'll get them. The double is there. They can't fight him off, though. The heals used, and World Elite take game 2 versus OMG.
And they split the set 1-1 we talked about before. OMG, if they want to put themselves into that 2nd place spot for playoff run, they need to find the 2-0. But
Yep.
WE pull out an awesome comp, and they execute it flawlessly, not only in their 5v5, which normally isn't their strong suit, but even in their itemization, pulling out the, I'm going to call it the blue AP Ezreal.
That was gross.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
I feel like Dade is looking like, that's genius. How did I not think of this? He's the master of Rylai's, and Uzi said he's been smiling a lot recently. Was certainly smiling when he came into the game. Not the same here.
There's a guy who should be smiling. Spirit, why you look so sad?
I don't know. Maybe he didn't get to play in Italy. It's a bad day. Cool's like, eh, whatever. Pick Victor. Should have picked Yasuo. Or you picked Victor too early in the draft. Can't kill the Ezreal. Everything's going wrong.
Yeah, pretty
It's
unfortunate.
like, this is the thing. Like, when you leave Ezreal open, you better have a plan. Because I don't get what your plan is. You better have one.
But it just goes back to all of the resources were expended bottom, and you didn't get the trade-off necessary for the amount of time and pressure that you applied there, especially into a Lucian, effectively leaving that Ezreal pick open and allowing it to ramp.
I don't know what the Uzi effect is having on OMG, but they do not play the same way in a lot of different facets. But World Elite take the game, keep
the dream alive.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know when they're mathematically eliminated based on standings, but I guess we'll find out soon.
Okay, so the nice thing for WE's playoff run, should they attempt to make for it, is that they still need to face EDG, Xiaogu. Oh, it's kind of 50-50. Invictus game. Yeah.